I want to speak about something called Allotex. So the condition of presbyopia, where you're seeing perfectly all your life, and then suddenly at 45 or even earlier sometimes, you can't read anymore. That's called presbyopia. And that happens because your lens becomes less elastic. So we did a trial 5 years ago as part of a 5-center European trial and loved the results doing Allotex for emmetropes. And an emmetrope is someone who has perfectly good vision, except they can't read anymore. But Brendan, you know now that we've started doing Allotex in conjunction with LASIK for someone who presents and says, I want to be free of glasses, but I need glasses for distance and for near. So tell me your early experience and what you think of it and why you like the idea. Why do you like the idea, first of all?
Well, I suppose adding power to the cornea has been an idea that's been around for a long, long time, but the materials just weren't right. So the fact that Allotex is completely biocompatible, it's decellularized collagen, is very, very appealing because we know it's not going to leave any marks. It means that if a patient doesn't like it, it's completely reversible. I think that's really, really appealing. The other thing that's great about Allotex is that with laser, if you want somebody to be free from glasses, you need to compromise their distance vision in the reading eye quite significantly. And blended vision works very, very well. You can speak on the benefits of blended vision. But what Allotex does is it allows people to gain a reading range rather than reading at one distance, but also not to compromise their distance vision in that reading eye as much as blended vision would do. So I think the fact that we are now combining it with LASIK means that so many more patients can benefit from this technology. I also really like the kind of mechanism. So the Allotex corneal inlay is 2.7 millimeters in diameter. That means that when a patient is reading up close and their eyes converge and their pupils constrict, the Allotex takes up the majority of the surface area of the pupil. So most of the light coming into their eyes is focused for reading. But when they look into the distance and their pupil relaxes a little bit and dilates, even a small change in the diameter of the pupil means that suddenly now the majority of the light coming in through their pupil is focused for distance and only maybe a quarter of it is still focused for near. So the kind of range of vision, the reversibility, and now combining it with LASIK, I think it's got a huge future, and I think we'll be doing lots and lots of it in the future.
I think so too. So one of the things we found in a study 5 years ago is people would say after a few months, there's some adjusting to it initially, a bit like blended vision, but after a few months, people are saying things like this. It seems as though this cost me nothing in terms of my general vision. My general vision seems unchanged, except I can read. So it's very, very valuable. And just to be sure, it's collagen, but it's human corneal collagen. So it's from an eye bank where people have donated their corneas because they want to help others, and their cornea just wasn't suitable for a corneal transplant, so they offer it for this purpose. And now instead of helping 2 people, they can help 50 people or 100 people. So it's a very nice thought for people to do.
Yeah.
So if we start doing this, we are doing it now, what do you think the best ideal range is? If you're a -10, do you think Allotex is for you?
No, I think there's too much of a shape change with -10. We plan, or we are going to keep the range quite tight, so between -3 and +2. This way it's much more predictable in terms of the laser result and in combination with the Allotex.
I think a very nice thing about Allotex is that if you plan on doing Allotex, we've still yet to see the person who didn't like it, but if you don't like it, you can in fact remove it and then revert back to blended vision anyway. So it's a very, very nice way, a very modern way of addressing presbyopia and making you feel young again. You can read again.